Recording in progress.
Sahanavatu sahanau punaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vishvidavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Prabhupada, are you able to hear us? Are you able to hear? Sahanavavatu sahanau punaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vishvidavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we have seen, because we have part of the talk we already had, how, because Ekadashapuram, the body which is a 11-gated city, how it is being looked after by the highest life, the life-giving force, who is Brahman, we call it in our scriptures. Elsewhere it is being called as, because as the power, that is being the kingdom of the God, that's being said in the other religions as well as Jehovah, it is being called in the other religion. It is the one, which has been described. The second mantra described, how the Brahman could be. It gives some sort of idea as to what a Brahman could be. He is a purity personified. He doesn't have any blemish, and he is also the one who is rather spreading across the firmament. He is the root cause of the entire cosmos, and as well as he is in all our beings, in our bodies. He is giving the life force. How he is giving the life force? Because he is activating the life force through prana. The prana is the one, which is the life force, which is taking care of every being, wherever it is there, irrespective, not only the human beings, the other animals and the other plant kingdom, everywhere, because it has got its own life force, the prana is there and all. The prana is the selfless service. It does it at the behest of the ultimate power, who is giving it to us. That is why prana is very important. He takes care, he doesn't bother, because whether he is in the body of a saint or he is the body of a sinner or he is in the body of someone else or he is in the body of animal or he is in the body of the plant and everywhere, because at the human body, he gives an extra effort and he gives an extra faculty of analyzing, discrimination, and finding out what is right or wrong. He gives that because the human being is the ultimate evolution of all the beings. Out of 84 lakh creatures, which has been mentioned in our Sanatana Dharma, the highest evolution is the taking a birth of a human being. Why it is taking care of it? It is only the one you are able to find out the purpose of the life. The purpose of the life, because why prana is important. Prana comes only, when the birth takes place. Why birth takes place? Birth is taking place because there is a purpose, for which you have to come into this world, understand the understand, because the purpose of your being experiencing and understanding yourself. What is the understanding of yourself? The tree is trying to understand the seed quality, like a earth is trying to understand the mantle. Because what type of, because you can flourish yourself, if you are a small seed, you can grow into a big tree, because with so many branches. Or you could be a plant, with so many fruits. Or you could be someone, because who can give flowers. Or you could be, because you will not understand the quality, accordingly you can flourish, but you will not be able to do beyond your seed quality. That is swabhava. How it has come? The swabhava has come because we have created, because over the period of time, because the seed has gone through several sort of a growth and decay and growth and decay. But the original seed, which has remained in its place, it has gained its full quality when it is able to flourish to the full extent. The purpose of the life is nichocha bhavam dataha, when we say, what is our highest potential? If I am an almond tree, I should be able to grow to the perfect almond tree. If I am a neem tree, I will have to go as a neem tree and give whatever benefits that I should be able to give. But if I am a grass weeds, because of that quality of the weed, I will be a weed, and then I will have to go through, because as I go through, because whatever I am capable of, I will have to do. Only that is what is in my hand. I should not be bothered about why I am not an almond, why I am not a mango. You should not be bothered about it, because you have been given the specific qualities which you are requiring to understand yourself and understand the world. This is what exactly it has been brought about in this only. Then we prana, how selflessly it does it. Likewise, once you have come into this world, don't bother about others. Don't bother about what is happening, because to the people who have done certain things, or people who are doing certain things, and you don't have to follow, because go out of the way, where you don't have to, you will not be able to excel, you don't have to go. But you know what is your capability, you know how you can develop yourself, the area of interest, because whether you are an engineer, or whether you are a doctor, or you are a mason, or an architect, or you are a musician, or anything like that, you try to go whatever is your inherent inbuilt capacity, and go and develop and do it to the best possible, and try to spread it across. Because of you, so many other people who are capable of having that particular faculty and knowledge, they can also flourish. This has been brought about, and in that context only we saw that mantra 4 in the page 108, asyam vistram asya vistram samanasya shariras tataya dehinaha. Because once you have done everything, and once you are working towards that, and once you are keeping the joyful being of yourself, and the love is overflowing with you, because you are enjoying what you are doing, you are not doing out of compulsion. No one has to do anything out of compulsion. Not that because your father has said, or your children are saying, or your wife has said, but whatever is interest, you do it, because that is what the capability has given. Because suppose if a person is only good at painting, he can do only painting. He don't doesn't have to read and go and teach in a university and all. He has to do that, because that is what the thing. Because others can be, a teacher can't become a painter, because he has got his own expertise of knowing and teaching. That's what he can do. And a painter, what he can do, a teacher can't do. A teacher, what he can do, a painter can't do. So we will have to, whatever we are enjoying, doing in this world, we will have to mindfully do that. Don't bother about, doing impossible things, which is beyond you, which is rather, which is not your inherent quality in which you will be able to excel. So once you do that, you will be able to, because you've got so many things to offer. It's not that, because by doing the other thing only you will be able to comfortably live under. Because when you are able to live whatever you are doing, that means you will be able to content and enjoy every moment of your life, what you are doing. This is what Upanishad wants you to do. He doesn't want you to go out of the way, because you don't have to prove to anyone. You don't have to prove to the world. You have to prove to yourself to doing, because are you able to enjoy every moment of it? That is what the proof. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. If you are able to enjoy every moment of the life with whatever God given faculty and God given resources and the God given environment, ambience, home, if you are able to do it, that's good. And in that process, because when you are trying to do, automatically you will be contributing to the world around you, and the ripple effect will be there. And once you, the selflessness slowly inbuilds, because when finally how the ego is being taken out, because once you know, once you are enjoying yourself, and when that is being, being, rather looked at, with so many other people, because you don't have to uh, deliberately go and do it. They themselves will be doing it. Once you do that, that is the grace. Once you get the grace of the God to do that, automatically whatever you are doing will reach out to the world. Once you give more to the world, automatically the more will come to you. So it's not that people have to always give you a certificate and give you an appreciation, give you a title or anything like that. Once you get the internal satisfaction, that the highest certificate a God can give to any person. We don't have to hanker after something and all. That's what it says. Once you do that, you do your duty. Karmanyeva adhikaras. So once you do it, rest of the things will automatically come. That's what, because the second chapter of Gita, what I said. The same thing has been enunciated. You don't have to. But in that process, they are trying to answer the question which Nachiketa asked, because Preta Vichiksa, because once, body becomes only a cadaver, because nothing else, what remains? In that question, he says, when it reaches Asya Vistram Samanasya, because once, the prana also has done its duty, having come selflessly and kept the body, going as long as it is. Finally, when it leaves, what it leaves not on its own accord, because in the time, because once it dies, because there is further thing that is to be, what remains, that's what remains is something, because can't be answered. It can be only answered by understanding. What remains is the Stula Sarira goes off, the Sushma Sarira, whatever the treasure trove of knowledge and all, it remains. It remains in the Sushma Sarira. And that is one, finally, when you are able to get that Sushma Sarira and when you are able to complete, your sort of a turn to come into this world experience, when it that also goes off, you are also getting, vimuktaha vimuchyate. From there, you also get the liberation from there. So that is one way of understanding that. And another way of understanding is this mind, body, intellect. What we are thinking about, with that only we are able to act. We will have to act till the last moment. No person can avoid being in this world, not act. He has to act. But once you understand this is the world, because once I have to do, what am I to do to the perfection and be mindful and be happy, content, and let me do whatever is best. At that point of time, you will be beyond the happiness and desire, because happiness is the state of mind you are creating, because that I am getting this, I am happy about it, because there are circumstances that my sensory feelings tells me I am happy. But once you have that, because even without, beyond the senses also, you will be getting happiness sometimes. When you come to, when you are having, without any reason, when you find that your mind is full of calm and peace, when you are having that, because the equanimical position, and when you are finding the happiness coming to you, there is no, because there is no trigger to bring you happiness. When that happiness comes, that is the real bliss. And when that is there, even the sorrow will not affect you. Sorrow is something, because once you have a possession of what you are having, because once you have the possessive attitude, then both of them comes. Once you are not having the possessive and you are only going to do whatever you are going to do, and the rest of it happens, because whatever you deserve will come to you automatically. You don't have to bother about it, and the right thing will come to you, and you will not be, because anything, which we go out of the way to long for, that only creates the problem, whether it is a food or whether it is the experience, whether anything else in our life. When we go beyond, because once we like it, we go after that, that happens. But once you enjoy whatever comes and leave it at that, because because you are content with that, nothing will happen. That brings about, because then slowly the ego part of it slowly goes off, slowly, because in the sense, don't long for when it comes, because you accept it and then work on that, because then, because then it automatically will bring you, because it will be of a sort of, it will give the vibration and beneficial effect to so many other people, which you don't have to sort of a seek for. You don't have to seek, automatically it will happen. It will be ripple effect. The world is a chain reaction. We are not strangers for that matter. We are strangers because we go by name and form. We go by the quality which we like and dislike. That is how, because we have that. Otherwise, because no one is a stranger. Everyone, we are all interconnected in some way or other. Because, the forest, there are so many trees and so many fruit, and some of them are non-fruit giving trees also. Some of them are being discarded on. They are also, wild trees, no one would bother. Wild flowers will be there. Banpul, they will all be there. But irrespective of the fact, they have got a purpose in this life. They are achieving this purpose. To understand and achieve our purpose, that is main importance here. So once you have that, and automatically will happen. So how will be able? Dehat vimuchamanas kimatra parisishyati. When, because when the body goes off, once it is goes off, vimucha, when you said, finally, when there is no specific desire, longing, or, because any of the qualities, likes, dislikes, when it goes off, there is no reason, because for you to get into, again, experience this and that. You will come only as a sort of a guide or a teacher, or one, who can undergo, because everything with a smile. So when there is a problem, we are thinking of asking why it has to come. We are always asking a question, why it has come to me, why it has come to that person. He's such a good person, why it is happening to him. So I have done so many good things, and why it is happening to me. Okay, I have taken care of everything, whatever has been told I have done. In spite of the fact why certain things happen to me, why not to others? That question is never to be asked. Because once you have the equanimity, we are like anyone else. There is no speciality about us. In fact, the question we will have to ask is why it can't happen to me. It can happen to me also, because you don't have to specifically ask that. You don't question when something happens to you. That's all. Leave it at that. So then they say, because in one particular, the small monk, because in one of our small villages in down south in Tamil Nadu, he's not a great scholar, having read everything and all. He's not the one, who has been, giving lectures and all. He's the one who is living a simple life, totally unknown, because in some places, because near Tiruvannamalai and all, he's there and all. And he just goes about doing his things, because it's only word people that people are flocking to him to find out, how he could be always smiling, and he's entertaining everyone, and he's also talking to everyone. He's not giving any part of a specific solution and all. He's not giving them, because ask them to follow and all. He simply says, two things in Tamil. Aham Purul, he says. Aham Puram, he says. In Aham, you have got nothing to do. He says Aham in the sense what we say Adhyatma, insight. So what he says is, because that is what exactly this Upanishad has brought about in a very subtle way, but he being a one who can make it in very understandable language to everyone, he says, in Aham, you don't have to do anything. Aham செய்வதற்கு ஒன்றுமில்லை. He says, because you don't have to do anything. In the sense, why you think about anything and all. By thinking what you are doing, thinking only you are spoiling your mind, and you are spoiling your, like giving up your energy and giving your body. But don't just to see, what is to be done at the moment. You do what is in front of you, what is immediately be done. Don't bother about it. Tomorrow I am going to do tomorrow, because if he comes, what happens? If he says, what happens? Because we are creating a lot of, because luggages around us. Even in interaction with our own siblings or children or anything like that, then you try to say, in such a way, then that nothing comes, because you try to build a defensive wall around us. Why should we do? We don't do anything, because talk less and answer, because you should be available whenever people want you. That's all. And you should always be there, and you try to be sort of giving suggestions, or because the advice when sought for, without being sought for, we should not be going on our own, because we will not be able to replicate the experience what others are having. One of the mistakes what we happen, our experience is the same as other person would have got. Not necessary. If that is the place, because my experience could explain everyone else in the world, that is not possible. But even though, because whatever philosophical stream it may be there, whatever is there, everyone's experience is unique. Pratyaksha is anubhava. Anubhava is everyone's is experience. In fact, in Shastras it is said, because in fact, the Dvaita, Madhvacharya says, if you have got an experience and if the scripture says something else, you go by your experience. But don't go by your experience with your own angularities. Because what happens is we are giving you our own angularities into our own experience. I did that, so it does. No, it has happened, it has to happen. Sometimes, even with your effort, something good happens, you take it, because it has happened, is okay, no, I'm taking it. That's all. That experience need not necessarily be the one, which others also should have. And sometimes, you are undergoing, some sort of a trouble, or, because obstruction and all. Not that, because immediately, you go about it. Because you say, then you find out, because maybe, something, I can do something better, I can do something to correct it, go about that. That's all. Nothing more than that. And don't give much attention to that. Why it has happened, why, and then how it can be. How it can be, with the clarity of the mind, you can do that. Why, you will not be able to answer. Why will be, because so many things will be happening, our own sort of attitude may be there. our own sort of why we are acting on certain things and all that we will be that is the Upanishad is bringing about so beautifully. Not only that, in coming verses also it is being highlighted. So kimatra pariseshyate. After this, what remains? What remains in the sense, when the Sushma Sarira is there, what's what the scriptures say, we have not seen. It's being said, and it is carrying all the impressions, treasure trove of knowledge, and because it is taking you to the another world, and because when you are coming back again to this world, because people like us, we may have to come several times, maybe another crore of times, because to elevate ourselves. So even if I have to do that, because I should be able to do good, get through the process, and every time, there will be Upanishad. I should be able to go step by step up. Upanishad is going up. Certainly, as it's not only a guru is sitting by the Shishya is sitting by the side of guru and getting the wisdom, Upanishadaha. And it's also, because the another interpretation, Upanishad is every time you get elevated, every day is an elevated, every moment is an elevation. When you get into the elevation, you will be able to see, your own, being, how come, because you have given up, some of the small thinkings, which has happened earlier and all. That will be wonderful, because this is exactly it is taking you. Etat Vaitat, that is what it says. It is more to be experienced than to be understood. And then the next mantra, 2.2.5 in your page 109, it says, Na pranena na apanena martyo jivati kaschana. In the sense, prana, apana, they are the ones selflessly, you are doing all this service to experience the world, but they are not the one finally, because they just, once they go, they are the one final authority, because when prana goes, it's not that. That is why, we have seen Vayur Anilam Amritam Atedam Basmantam Sariram. In the 14th mantra of Isavasha Upanishad, when we said, and prana, when it does, because he gets the power from the Brahman, the life force, he is the begotten child. It's like a Brahman, as good as a Brahma, but he's furthermore, he gets the power from the Brahman, the ultimate power, whether you call it Vishnu or the Parabrahman, who is the one who is giving the power. Vayura Anilam, he is residing in the Vayu. When the Vayu comes in, he is in that, he is acting. And he's the one who gives you the energy, whether you are a saint or a sinner or a professor or a doctor or a leader or whoever it may be, because even you are a worker, because you may be doing, you may be a janitor also, you may be something else also. He gives all the energy. And he gives, what you can excel in your profession, whether you are even, if you are doing some odd jobs, if you are able to excel, that is it, because in that, you can make it, in those early days, the cooking was not considered to be a grand profession, but today chefs are celebrated ones. People are looking up for their videos to know, what is the recipe and how it has to be done. Likewise, everything has an excellence. Dignity of duty and labor is there everywhere. No job is less important. So therefore, that has been brought about in the Upanishad, even though, because the society might have had its own angularities every time. This has been very clearly by Ittarane. So Jivati Kaschana, because once it is it that finally that power is the one, you understand that power. This is the answer further he gives. Don't think, because afterwards also you are under the control of the final power who gives the final dissolution or redemption or whatever you deserve. Itarena tu jivanti yasmin neta upashritau. Because it is itarena tu jivanti by some other factor also, because that some other factor is very important. Vayur Anilam, who is there at all. Yasmin yeto upashritau, because he is there. So then this question happens. If that is the case, if there is a reason, because why this is happening at all, because that's why Durlabham Manushya Janmanam, because in Beku Chudamani Shankaracharya said, because these things, to understand that, because how you are able to understand, because having taken the birth of a human being only, you are able to get into all these questions and trying to find an answer. And it is a discrimination, trying to find and all. So finally, you will even give up the discrimination, because you will have to act in this world. You will not be able to procrastinate. The world, because there is no, in fact, our scriptures prohibit procrastination. It's not that, and I will not be doing anything, I will only be doing the Namajapa and I will have to act. It is a sort of, even Bhagavad Gita is considered to be the blueprint for action in this world. Not to keep quiet and go to the retirement home. It is not that. It is like the Upanishad also says, you have to do that. Itarne to jivanti yasmin neta upashito, because by some other factor that you live. What is that live? Because when slowly when you do mindful and take away me and mine, everything is taken out. You become you are dependent on the factor, because the prana, and the prana is dependent on the factor and the highest one. When you are doing you will have to use this. You're not dissipating your energy onto unwanted things, no unwanted thoughts. In aham, because you say whether because don't bother about any thoughts. Even doing after food, what is I'm going to do? Am I going to do nap and I'll forget about it. After food, if you get the sleep, go to the sleep. That's all. When you get up, because you want a cup of coffee, you take it. That's all. But don't think about it right now. And these are all the unwanted. And don't think about because the others were because there is some function in the next house. Because when it will be over and all those things, unnecessarily you don't think. And you see, because some certain things are happening, around the neighborhood, who is going to do anything. Don't talk about. When you say, if you want to see a game, enjoy it at that moment. See, because the game is being played with the skill. They enjoy the skill. And because wherever else, you want to go to the musical program, be with the music. And when you are fully giving the attention, the music will fill you. Hearing the music itself is a meditation. The music fills the meditation, meditation fills the music. They are interdependent. So once you have that, get into those things. And as well, because when you are finding something, because certain things are happening, trying to find a way out, because even because sickness comes, what? Sickness comes mainly because when body is trying to tell, because something, there is something, you come in the way of the body's function, then only the sickness comes. That is, once you are able to maintain, what you want, what you eat, and whatever your regularity, because whatever simple exercise, walking and laughing and with the family and friends, when you spend the time, that is it. Because when you will be spending the time, you will be talking so many things which is sort of giving happiness to everything. It's not unwanted part. You will be exchanging so many things. When you are exchanging, you are also learning, and others are also getting the information from you. And in fact, from the younger generation, we are learning a lot, because we don't know much about it. And a lot of things I come to know, because which is not in our times, it's all happening. And because the ambience is different, environment is different. So we will have to go through all these things. In spite of the fact, because why this happiness and sorrow that happens, because last week, the madam was asking certain questions, which we'll be taking up, when she joins and all. One of the things because in spite of we know everything and all, the Upanishad says, we also know, Upanishad doesn't have to say, we ourselves know from our life, we have followed it, and so many people, we have also learned these things, from our childhood. But then we are not able to give up the thoughts and all, because there is always a lingering interest in something or other which doesn't concern us. So doesn't concern us in the sense, is it that am I should be a recluse? No, you don't have to be recluse. When you do everything and all, when someone comes to you and because ask for help, do it. And because when you think you will have to help, because a man who is lying, because on the road, or someone who needs help, and you go and to someone else, they immediately need some help, or even over a period of time you try to do that. Those things, all of human qualities. Without human qualities, Upanishad wants us to be more better human, because we are less human than what we are supposed to be. Upanishad wants to be a perfect human as far as possible. We can't be as perfect as it is, but we will be able to, every day we can improve ourselves to be a better human being. Why better human being? Because then, because the qualities in us will slowly win. Because we have, all of us have got sattva, rajasa, and tamasa. And because more we be mindful, more we are having the attitude, more we are able to give. If we will be having a sattva component going in us more. Once sattva components more in us form, it is the glass, which is very clarified glass through which the light, whether you call it in the Brahman's grace or consciousness, will pass through and will be able to get the grace of the God. But the more it has in a rajas and tamasic qualities, it will be sort of opaque. It will not allow the grace to pass through. It will not allow the conscience to pass through. So when it is not, you will not be able to get the bit of it, because it is like if you have got a darkened glass, the room will not be as bright as it is. If you are putting a transparent glass, the room will be as good as it should be. So this is exactly because what is happening to the sattva, rajasa, and tamasa component, the same thing will be coming. So, in spite of knowing all these things, in spite of having the knowledge, that we have always to do the good thing, and even the child will know, because the child has been taught in the school, and we have also been taught in the school. Sometimes, certain things, is being done which we are not able to control, because by virtue of our habit, virtue of our mental attitude. So when you have to talk, because silence is the language, the best language to be used. But when we use even languages more thoughtful, and because we're more ameliorative, more sweet language when we use, it makes everyone happy. But sometimes, because out of anger, out of because something which is missing in us, the words may come differently, and that will create a problem. Why it is happening, despite the fact we have got the knowledge? This is exactly the question when someone, because in Mahabharata it comes, we will explain it in a more depth in the next week, because that's going to be relevant for the forthcoming mantras. When Duryodhana was asked, Duryodhana was also trained by Dronacharya. Duryodhana was also trained by Bhishma Pitamaha, because they didn't differentiate. It is like Brahman. They gave the knowledge to everyone. And Dronacharya also gave the same sort of a skill to everyone. But Arjuna excelled. But others, because they were not able to take it. Why? And because everyone has been told what is the righteous thing and what is not the righteous thing. Everything has been told to everyone. Even Duryodhana knows it. He has also gone through the Gurukula of his great, because the Bhishma Pitamaha and Dronacharya and all of them were there, because they have all learnt everything and all. They know that. So in one particular, Duryodhana himself says, Janamyaham dharmam nachame pravritti. I know what is dharma, but I am not able to follow it. Janamya dharmam nachame nivritti. So when I know what is adharma, also I know that I have got the knowledge, but I am not able to avoid doing it. Why? This is sort of a paradox. Once you have the knowledge, why still human beings do all these things? Why? Because do people don't know what is good? Because why? Because they are unnecessarily harassing. Because so many countries it is happening. So because people are allowed to go overnight. People are not allowed entry, and all sorts of things are happening. Is it that anyone is going to get any benefit out of that? Because you are not allowing the sort of a knowledge transformation, knowledge exchange. You are not allowing the good and other exchange and all. But then why it is happening? The Upanishad, the Mahabharata answers the question so beautifully, that has been brought about in this. In spite of the fact, with all the knowledge in the world and all the experience, whatever gathered all through life, why certain things are happening that we are not able to. It is a Duryodhana's paradox, which is there in everyone's paradox. We may not be as bad as Duryodhana, because as depicted in Mahabharata, but certain things, because certainly, if we have the qualities imbibed, knowing that, and whatever Upanishad says, the simple thing, minding our business and excelling in whatever we are capable of, we are doing it, we will be able to avoid that. That's all. Because once you are able to avoid that, then you will be able to enjoy every moment. Now that prevents you from enjoying the present moment as well as the moments which is going to come for times to come. You can make the entire life wonderful. This is exactly what that Mahabharata story is. That Duryodhana's words are telling, and it has also got the reference to Bhagavad Gita in the third chapter. The third chapter, because there are five mantras, which describes why, because this is happening. Arjuna asked specific question, same question what Duryodhana has asked in Mahabharata. Arjuna asked the same question. We will see, what is that question, how we are able to get the answer, how we will be able to follow it in our day-to-day life. We will see in the next session. with this, I will try to conclude, with this disjointed session of Kathopanishad. Anyway, next week, we will change the time to 11:30. I will communicate that also, and with the same link, we will be doing this. With this, I am concluding today's session. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vishvidavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Prabhudan.
அது என்னைக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லெவல்ல ஏதாவது ப்ராப்ளம் ஆச்சா?
இதுல அதுல ஜூம்ல ஆக்சுவலா 23rd மட்டும் ஷெட்யூல் வந்துருது. அதுக்கப்புறம் எகைன் வெரி நெக்ஸ்ட் 7 வீக்ஸ்க்கு அதை எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் பண்ணிருக்கணுமா?
Okay, okay.
I didn't know that, so it cut off that. So now I will have to do. Now it is up to 30th August மட்டும் இருக்கு. So before 30th August, 23rd August, I will have to extend it.
Extend. Same in the our விஜிபி கூட விபிஜி கூட அதுல இது பண்றாரு. அவர் வந்து இது டீம்ஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அங்க வந்து எக்ஸாக்ட்லி ட்ரை டு மேனேஜ் த 60 minutes ஃப்ரீ அவைலபிள் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதுல வந்து அந்த மாதிரி ஆரம்பிச்சு முடிச்சிடுறாரு அது.
Correct. Because it doesn't allow also. Actually, I am trying for teams also. Teamல recording வந்து they have not allowed.
Okay.
அதுல டீம்ல they want இது 365 இருக்கு இல்லையா, MS ஆஃபீஸ்.
ஆமா.
அது ஒரு லைசன்ஸ்ட் காப்பி இருந்து அதுல ஏதோ ஒரு கண்டிஷன்லாம் போட்டிருக்காங்க.
You can just see whatever the contents. Let me know. I have a paid subscription for 365.
அப்படியா?
அது என்னன்னு பாருங்க. If we can work together, கொடுத்த துட்டை யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
Okay, sure. Actually, ரெண்டாவது விண்டோஸ் வந்து 10 தான் இது. I will not anyway have a.
I checked with some of the computer people here. They say they will say, but अपना काम निकल जाएगा. Don't worry.
I think next week, Prabhuda, I am planning to come to your place.
Come.
We will discuss in detail. Second half வரேன் நானு.
Okay, we are leaving on 5th night சிங்கப்பூருக்கு.
என்ன எப்ப போறீங்க?
5ஆம் தேதி night.
Okay, before that I will come one day.
Okay.
I will talk to you and come.
Okay then. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I will get some jihad, as you said, and the computer fellows are telling. I will also try to.
Okay, pa. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuda.
Thank you. Bye.